Welcome to Sold with Webinars, a podcast that aims to uncover how the most successful experts, coaches, consultants, and e-course professionals sell their products and services with just one sales presentation or webinar. A simple sales webinar can transform the business and life of a solopreneur. And this podcast will show you how other experts just like you are generating 6 and 7 figures per year online with their webinars. So let's get started. What's going on, experts? It's Joel here, and I just got off my solo podcast today. You guys are in for a very special treat. Number one, I love the title of this episode. I'm going to title it, How to Go From Zero to 120K per month in 60 days, even if you don't want to. And the reason why I've labeled that as even if you don't want to is because of something very special. I'll explain that in just one moment. But the second thing that is very exciting about today's episode is I reveal the details of our next high-ticket webinar live intensive. So if you are interested in working with me personally to have your high-ticket webinar completed in a matter of 3 days, live, in person, here in Lewiston, I explain the details inside of this episode. So why did I label this, How to Go From Zero to 120K per month, even if you don't want to, right? I talk in this episode about something very special called the buyer's pyramid. And over the past 6 months or so, I've worked with a handful of clients that we have literally completely exploded, basically brand new businesses. I shouldn't say brand new because they did have results, but we exploded their businesses. And when people understand that you do not need complex marketing funnels to explode your profits and build the ultimate business and the ultimate revenue generating machine, you're going to realize that it's much simpler than you think. So while I say how to go from 0 to 120K per month, even if you don't want to, there are a lot of solopreneurs that are listening right now that may or may not even want to get to 120K per month, meaning they want the ultimate lifestyle business. 20K per month might be enough to give them a very healthy lifestyle. 40, 50, 60, 70K per month could do the exact same thing. What I share with you here allows my clients, when they get their message dialed in, which is very, very important, it allows that floodgate of high ticket, high qualified leads to come pouring into your funnel and to get them to work with you at a very, very affordable cost if you're running paid traffic. And you can also do this with organic methods. So even if you don't want to make 120K per month in the next 60 days, this is going to be very relevant to you when you align the right message with what your audience wants. So enjoy this episode. And if you're interested, make sure to follow the instructions to reach out to me and join me here in Lewiston for the next live high ticket webinar intensive workshop. It's going to be a blast. The last one, our attendees generated hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars collectively since that event. Very exciting stuff. All right, without further ado, let's jump into today's episode. Hey, what's going on, experts? It's Joel here with a very, very special episode of Sold with Webinars. The reason why it is so special today, I'm so freaking excited. We have officially finalized the dates for our next live high-ticket webinar intensive workshop that is going to be happening here in Lewiston, New York. So if you are interested in having me personally work with you for 3 days, focused one-on-one, well, in a group setting, but you will get one-on-one time with me and the group that will be there to help you build a high-ticket webinar to generate high-ticket leads for your business, crafting your offers, crafting your message, and leaving at the end of the 3 days with this entire thing mapped out, ready for you to implement, then I want you to pay attention. The dates are June 19th through the 21st. And if you're interested, I need you to email me at joel@thewebinaragency.com. There's no official event page as of this moment. So I need you to email me at joel@thewebinaragency.com and let me know that you are interested. The dates are June 19th through the 21st. You will need to fly in the day before. But oh my goodness, the last event that we did, the last intensive that we did was so incredible. I mean, we had just amazing results from the attendees who went there. We had Joe. I remember Joe, he ended up generating $125,000 within a couple of days after leaving the event. We had other 7-figure earners there. We had people who were having, $25,000 windfall weeks, generating $11,000 in a matter of minutes. Oh man, we talk about so many incredible things. And lots of the attendees who were there, they ended up working with each other. They just built incredible friendships and incredible business relationships. And that is my ultimate mission for you guys. So anyway, those are the dates. That's the information. And we sold out in record time when I launched the last one. We've already got a lot of buzz for this one. I wanted to send a special message to you because if you want my personal help to help you craft that message, craft that offer, and develop a very simple system to generate these high ticket leads for your high ticket offer, I want you to reach out and let's see if it's a good fit. And let's see if I can help. So that is what I've got for you in the very, very beginning. So there's my introduction kind of announcement, right? I do have something that I want to talk to you about today, though, because I always want to provide value to you. And this goes hand in hand with high ticket offers and what I am seeing in the marketplace and what I'm seeing in this industry time and time again. So I want you to imagine for yourself right now a pyramid. Okay. I want to talk to you about something very, very specific because for those of you who have a high ticket offer that you want to launch, or just in marketing in general, this is very, very applicable in marketing and sales in general, right? Because what a lot of people believe when they're just getting started out, or maybe even more seasoned veterans, they think that they need to create a complex marketing funnel. They don't truly believe that people are willing to buy from them right now if they've never heard of you. Now, I was talking to somebody over at Entrepreneur Magazine, and they asked me to write an article for them on how to create authority if nobody's ever heard of you. And so I published it about a month ago, and it got like 750 shares. It did very, very well. It was very, very popular. So I clearly struck a chord there. How to be positioned as an expert, even if nobody has heard of you, right? Because we have these false beliefs that cold people, cold leads, cold audiences won't buy from us now if they'd never heard from you. And that's just completely false, right? It's been the primary crux of my business as I've grown it over the past 3 or 4 years. It's been the primary crux of how our clients have gone from 0 to 120K per month in new monthly recurring revenue within 60 days. I've had other clients go from 0 to $400,000 per month in 6 months, and the results speak for themselves. Most people think you have to lead with some sort of tripwire and then naturally ascend them into your back end. And while that does work, it is not what I recommend for people who are small business owners, solopreneurs who are just getting started, who are really, they are bootstrapping and they need funds to, pay for team growth or reinvesting into the business, right? And so all of this stems from the buyer's pyramid. Now, if you've never heard of Chet Holmes, this is where I have learned this concept from. Chet Holmes wrote the book called The Ultimate Sales Machine. The late Chet Holmes, I should say, and he labels 5 different categories of people who are ready to buy. He calls it the buyer's pyramid. Now, if you picture in your mind right now, at the very, very top of the buyer's pyramid is the smallest segment. It is the absolute smallest segment. And those are the people who are most aware and actively looking to make a purchase. It accounts for about 2 to 4% of the entire marketplace. Okay. So if you think about it, at any given moment in the market that you serve, there are 2 to 4% of people who are looking to buy something right now. I want to take you back because even if you were to see this pyramid and you were to look at what this is, and you say 2 to 4%, and you might say to yourself, oh my goodness, like I need to market to more people than that. Like that's just too small of an audience. Well, likely you are going on blind data because you have no idea what to compare that 2 to 4% to. Because I can make a very, very strong guesstimate that that market size is likely more than enough to feed your family and to thrive off of. When I say thrive off of, I mean make a very good living off of. That 2 to 4% is a very, very substantial marketplace. So let me give you an example. I recently did an interview with Elaine Pofeld. She's the author of the One Person $1 Million Business book. And she's a journalist, so she loves to research, right? So I did this interview with her on Experts Unleashed, and I wanted to dive into her story. And she started to talk about something that was very, very fascinating because I'll be frank, I have not done the research on really how many small businesses there are in America. So I want to ask you a question, right? How many? And so her whole stick is, solopreneurs, solo employee businesses, and how to get them to $1 million per year not how to get them to $1 million per year in revenue, but she interviewed all of these different businesses that were solo employee businesses that have gotten to $1 million per year in revenue. And so I started asking her, some questions, and I was like, well, how many, she was focusing mostly on America. I said, well, how many solo employee businesses exist in America? Now, in my mind, I had some presumptions and I had my own estimates, my own numbers. And I'm thinking like, I don't know, maybe a few 100,000, right? A few 100,000, maybe 1 million. I honestly don't know. And so we got to talking and she's like, no, Joel, there's actually 22 million non-employee businesses. These are solopreneurs who do not have more than one employee. And I'm like, oh, that's fascinating to me. Like 22 million. Great. Now I've got this reference number now. I'm like, okay, cool. Because my target audience are mostly solopreneurs. They're mostly solopreneurs. Obviously I have a subset in there of who I target. But I'm like, okay, cool. Well, there's 22 million people who are interested in business, have started their own business in America, just in America. And so we got to talking even more. And she goes, well, how many of those do you think have crossed the $1 million per year mark? The $1 million per year mark. I'm like, I have no idea. And she goes, well, 36,000 of those solopreneurs have crossed the $1 million per year mark, right? So 36,000 solopreneur businesses are generating over $1 million per year in revenue. Okay. So I bring that to you because I want you to now go back to that buyer's pyramid, because I never had a reference point for those different segments, right? So that top 2 to 4% who are ready to buy, now actively looking for a solution, I guarantee you that if you do a little bit of research, you will see that 2 to 4% of whatever your target market size is, probably tens of thousands of potential customers inside of that pyramid, right? 20 some odd million solopreneur businesses exist. So that ranges anywhere from, a couple $1,000s a year in revenue to hundreds of thousands of dollars per year in revenue. But over 20 million solopreneur businesses, which is my target market, which means that 2 to 4% is going to be more than a big enough pool to market to for people who are actively ready to buy now. But here's where it gets even better, right? So maybe 2 to 4% gets a little bit small, but we have a segment below that. So it's 3% of the top level is buying now. And the level below that, which is 6 to 7% of the total market, they are open to buying something right now. And the level below that is not even thinking about it, right? So what that means is we've got 10% of your entire marketplace who is considering making a decision. So why do I talk about this? Well, number one, If you get a reference point for how big your market really is, you'll realize there are people actively looking for a solution way more than you think, especially with high ticket offers. They're willing to pay $5, $10, $15, $20,000 if the value is there. And it does not take long to get their interest, to market to them and convert them into a customer. That is point number one. And point number two is when you create a message that leads with an offer, you are now allowing for permission to market to them. I want to repeat that because most people get this backwards. When you are leading with a high ticket offer and you lead with an offer and you lead with a position of value and you get them in their mind to consider making that decision with you, to take that next step with you, and you lead with the offer, you now get them to give you permission to market to them. If you've captured their attention and they know you're making an offer, you've captured their interest, you've gauged their focus, and now they have given you permission to market to them. And it's a big switch that gets flipped because most of us want to market, which is totally fine. Like as your business grows, you do need a lot more marketing. But if you lead with an offer and say, hey, Mr. Customer, if I offered to build you a high ticket webinar guaranteed to send you highly qualified leads to your door, like to your inbox, ready to be sold, and I get this built and launched for you within 7 days, would you take me up on that offer? If you led with that message to the right target audience and you captured their attention, yes, they are now going to pay attention to you, assuming they're within that 10% of the marketplace actively looking for some sort of solution to a pain. And if you do that, you've now given them position to market. Now I can tell them a little bit about who I am. Now I can tell them a little bit about my authority, why I matter, and what makes me different. When you get this right, and when you focus on this, everything changes. Everything changes because you now have the opportunity to sell to an audience that's willing to buy. And now they are going to want to do more research on you to make sure that you are who you say you are and you have the authority, and they start to believe that you have the solution. So the rule here is leading with the offer so you get permission to market to them. That is the secret to high ticket offers, everybody. All right. So I wanted to leave you with that because I want you to go focus on number one. Highly recommend going to pick up The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes and studying that buyer's pyramid, which basically says 3% of the market is buying now, 6 to 7% is open to it, 30% is not thinking about it, the other 30% is not interested. They don't think that they're interested, and the final 30% knows they are not interested. When you get right down to it and you make an offer and you lead with the offer, you actually can capture 70% of the marketplace. Because when you lead with an offer and you lead with a transformation, people are going to be interested. That is how you capture as much as 70% of the people in your marketplace who may be considering hiring you for a high ticket solution. Lead with the offer and give them permission and let them give you permission to then market to them. Not marketing before the sale. Lead with the sale offer and then get the permission. Okay, so that is what I've got for you today. I appreciate all of you. And if you're interested in crafting those messages and building those systems out with me personally in Lewiston, New York, over the dates of June 19th through the 21st, please reach out to me, joel@thewebinaragency.com. This is a very high value, high impact intensive. It's not going to be all theory. We'll be talking about theory in the very beginning, but then we are going to be getting to work. By the time you leave at the end of day 3, you're going to have this entire thing mapped out. Custom offers, custom messages created. What is your flow? All of that stuff is what you will have at the end of day 3. It is super valuable. We've had just amazing success from the first intensive that we did in December. Collectively, the crowd has done hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales since that event. Okay, that's what I've got for you today. email me at joel@thewebinaragency.com. Let me know you're interested. I'll give you all of the details if you are a good fit. And I will also let you know what the availability is, because we do expect to sell out again. And we are promoting this on social media and my internal list. We might even be running paid traffic to it. So time is of the essence. And I want you to make sure that you get in if you're ready for this type of work. So appreciate all of you, and we'll see you on the next episode. Take care. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we look forward to giving you the next one. You can also follow and watch the behind-the-scenes look at how I'm personally launching a brand new 6- and 7-figure product from scratch at soldwithwebinars.com/TV. And if you'd like to come hang out with other fellow experts, join our Facebook group at soldwithwebinars.com/experts. Join us next time, and I'll see you there.